If I was purchasing my first place, I would be checking out tons of properties and testing the waters with offers that may be on the lower side to see if something sticks. You never know. If we do experience lower rates, even if it's at the end of 2025, which seems like that's a sentiment from most economists out there, then that would put upward pressure on home prices. August 2024 has brought some interesting shifts to the Toronto housing market. We know that the summer is usually a slower time of year relative to the spring and the fall, and this month's data reiterates that seasonal aspect of where we're at today. First up, I want to talk about home sales and the overall level of activity in our real estate market. This month, TREB, which stands for the Toronto Regional Real Estate Board, has reported a total of 4,975 home sales through the MLS, which represents a 5.3% drop from where we're at a year ago and a 7.5% decrease month over month, which again is totally normal for the tail end of the summer market. On the flip side, active listings in the entire GTA housing market saw a slight decrease for the first time since June of this year, down by 5.13% month over month, with just over 22,600 active listings on the market at the end of August 2024. New listings were also down more noticeably on a month over month comparison, sitting just above 12,500 units, which is down 23% relative to July 2024. I think the drop in active and new listings is due to a combination of some sellers wanting to wait for a time that's more favorable to put their home onto the market if they're in a situation where they don't absolutely have to sell and they have the means to hold on to their property for now, or the seller is pulling the property that was once listed on the market with the hopes to relist in the future as continued rate cuts come, if they weren't getting their desired purchase price, of course. Welcome back to the channel. My name is Trey Folks, and I'm a realtor here in the city of Toronto and the Greater Toronto area. I love covering the market here and sharing these informative and educational videos so that you can feel confident when taking that next step in your real estate journey, whether you're buying, selling, or renting. If you're new here, please hit that subscribe button if you like this type of content. And if you have any questions at all, please feel free to book an education call with me by using that first link down below and pick a time that is convenient for you. Now, let's get back to the good stuff. What's interesting is that for detached properties specifically, it seemed like a lot of homes that were sitting still on the market for 30 to 60 days or more started actually getting offers and were either sold or sold conditional right before the Bank of Canada dropped rates at the beginning of September. There's a cool chart which shows the level of showings throughout the month, and things were really steady for the majority of August after the first 4 or 5 days of the month. Now, both showings and offers were down slightly from a month prior, which is typical again for the tail end of the summer market. In Toronto, there were roughly 60,600 showings in August 2024, up 11% when compared to August of last year, which shows signs of life, you could say. I was able to help a couple people purchase freehold properties in the east end of Toronto in August, and the main reason for these buyers making the move when they did was due to the fact that they actually wanted to get ahead of any competition that would be potentially entering the market in the coming months. Since the market is still pretty well supplied, we have seen a continued easing in the average home prices across the board here in the city of Toronto, with the exception, however, of that detached asset class. Detached properties in the 416 sold for an average price of basically $1.7 million. The actual number was $1.692 million, represented by an increase of 2.68% month over month. Semis eased slightly to an average selling price of $1.204 million, down 3.95% compared to July 2024. Townhouses dropped by 6.6% month over month to an average selling price of $906,000 in August 2024 here in the city of Toronto, so a little more sizable in comparison to the other two asset classes. And lastly, condos, which have been rock steady in terms of prices for the majority of the year despite inventory levels in that segment of the market. Those have finally experienced a more noticeable drop to an average selling price of $681,000, which is represented by a decrease of 8.89% month over month. If you're a prospective buyer out there right now, it's clear that you can still get a really good deal out there. The bank's decision to cut that overnight lending rate to 4.25% will help with overall affordability, especially for those with variable rate mortgages. First-time buyers who are obviously very sensitive to borrowing costs are continuing to see a more favorable environment in front of them as mortgage rates trend lower. lower. If I was purchasing my first place, I would be checking out tons of properties and testing the waters with offers that may be on the lower side to see if something sticks. You never know. If we do experience lower rates, even if it's at the end of 2025, which seems like that's a sentiment from most economists out there, then that would put upward pressure on home prices. But it could take some time for those prices to adjust. Only time will tell. The golden rule is that it takes about 12 to 18 months for a rate increase or decrease to make its way through the economy and through the housing market. So just remember when you are making this decision that you're sticking to your own timeline and you're ready to make that transition. Get educated, do your homework, and know what the entire picture is going to look like. Shrub President Jennifer Pierce predicts an uptick in first-time buying activity, particularly in that condo market, as borrowing costs decrease over the next year and a half, which echoes some of my other points. Concluding with the inventory rate in Toronto, detached properties are sitting right at the end of a seller's market or the beginning of a more balanced market with 3.7 months of inventory. Semis remain in a seller's market with 2.65 months of inventory. Towns, those have an inventory rate of 3.3 months, so still pretty tight in that segment of the market. And condos have anywhere in between 6.15 to 7.4 months of inventory in the city of Toronto, depending on what pocket you're looking at. So lots of opportunities there and sitting in the clear buyer's market. That's it for today. Stay tuned for a rental update coming out soon as well. If you found this video helpful, please remember to give it a thumbs up and share it with anyone who might be interested in the GTA housing market. Drop your thoughts and questions down in the comments below. Thank you for watching as always, and remember to trust the process and to fall in love with your journey.